Welcome to this visual guide. Today we're doing something truly special. We're simulating the spiritual journey of a lifetime, step by step. For millions of Muslims around the world, this isn't just a trip, it's the absolute pinnacle of physical and spiritual devotion. We're going to trace the history, the sacred laws, and the exact physical steps of this profoundly moving experience. Let's dive in.
Let's kick things off right at the foundation. Hajj is the fifth pillar of Islam. It's a mandatory spiritual obligation for every adult Muslim, men and women alike, at least once in their lifetime. But there's a catch. You only go provided you've got the financial, physical, and emotional means to actually make the journey. It's this incredible great equalizer, drawing millions of people to Mecca every single year.
All right, so here's our roadmap for the day. We'll start with setting our intentions, move into the ancient rituals of tawaf and sa'i, hit the emotional climax at Arafah, spend a night out in Muzdalifah, and finally wrap it all up with the farewell rites.
Section 1. Prerequisites and Ihram Preparation. Let's get right into setting those intentions and preparing to enter a sacred state of purity.
Now, you might not know this, but you actually have three different options when performing Hajj. There's Ifrad, which is just the Hajj. There's Qiran, where you combine Umrah and Hajj in one go without ever breaking your sacred state. And then there's Tamattu. For our simulation today, we're going to follow Hajj al-Tamattu. It's highly recommended and honestly super practical for international pilgrims because you do the Umrah first, take a breather, and then start the Hajj rituals.
This map right here brilliantly lays out the 19 distinct geographical steps you're about to experience over the coming days. From first entering the state of Ihram all the way to that final emotional farewell, you'll be walking this exact route, literally shoulder to shoulder with millions of your brothers and sisters in faith.
Before you even set foot in Mecca, you have to enter Ihram, a sacred ritual state. For men, it means wearing two seamless white garments. For women, it's modest clothing without a face covering. By doing this, you are stripping away every single marker of wealth or social class. Everybody is completely equal. And while in Ihram, you've got to stick to some strict rules. No scented soaps or perfumes, no clipping your nails, no shaving, and absolutely no arguing. We're talking total spiritual focus here.
Moving on to Section 2, Tawaf, Sa'i, and their history. Upon arriving in Mecca, in your state of Ihram, we kick off the Umrah portion of your Tamattu journey, which is steeped in some truly incredible ancient history. Your first major physical act is the Tawaf. This is the sacred ritual of circling the Kaaba 7 times, counterclockwise, starting right from the corner with the black stone. The whole point of Tawaf is this profound symbolism of unity and faith. As you circle the Kaaba, you're tracing history all the way back to Prophet Ibrahim and his son Ismail, who originally built this cubic structure as a house of worship to the one God.
After the Tawaf, we shift to a ritual with a deeply emotional backstory. You'll be walking in the exact footsteps of Hajar, the wife of Prophet Ibrahim. Just imagine being left in a barren, scorching desert with your baby crying out from thirst. Her unwavering reliance on God in that terrifying moment is the entire foundation for what you'll do next.
You are going to physically reenact Hajar's sheer perseverance through a ritual called sa'i. You start at the hill of Safa, walk down through the valley, and climb the nearby hill of Marwa. And you do this back and forth 7 times. It's physically demanding, for sure, but it's this amazing reminder that placing your absolute trust in God, combined with relentless effort, brings about miraculous results, just like the Zamzam well springing up from the sand for Hajar.
Once you finish that 7th lap at Marwa, you perform hulk or taksir. Men will either clip or completely shave their hair, while women clip just a fingertip's length. This beautiful act symbolizes spiritual renewal. And hey, since we're doing the Tamattu type of Hajj, this officially completes your Umrah. You can now exit the state of Ihram, change back into your regular everyday clothes, and just rest up until the 8th of Zulhijjah.
Section 3, the climax of Hajj at Arafah. This is where the official Hajj rites begin, as you re-enter Ihram, leave the city, and journey out into the desert. On the 8th day of the Islamic month of Dhu al-Hijjah, you enter the state of Ihram all over again. Millions of pilgrims move together in perfect harmony toward the massive tent city of Mina to rest and pray. Then, on the morning of the 9th, the defining day of Hajj begins as you make your way to the plains of Arafah.
Arafah is the absolute core of your pilgrimage. Prophet Muhammad actually said, Hajj is Arafah.
You'll spend the entire day in wukuf, standing before Allah in deep, intensely personal prayer, begging for forgiveness. But watch out, because one of the most common mistakes pilgrims make is leaving before the sun goes down. You absolutely must stay within the boundaries of Arafah until sunset, or you risk breaking the rules of your Hajj entirely.
Section 4. Muzdalifah and stoning the Jamarat. As the sun sets on Arafah, your simulation continues into the night, leading up to a profound symbolic battle the next morning.
You leave Arafat at night and head to an open plain called Muzdalifah. Here, you're going to sleep right under the open sky, which is just a deeply humbling experience. This is also where you'll collect small pebbles from the ground. Why? Because on the 10th day, which happens to be the global celebration of Eid al-Adha, you'll head back to Mina for some seriously intense physical rituals.
That ritual is the stoning of the Jamarat. As you get ready to throw your pebbles, remember you are once again walking in the footsteps of Ibrahim. When God commanded him to sacrifice his son, the devil appeared to tempt him into disobedience. Ibrahim threw stones to violently reject the devil's whispers. By doing this today, you are symbolically casting away the sins, negative habits, and temptations in your own life.
On this 10th day, you execute 3 specific steps in sequence. First, you throw 7 pebbles at the largest pillar, Jamara al-Aqaba. Second, the qurbani, or animal sacrifice, is performed on your behalf with the meat distributed to the poor. Third, you once again shave or trim your hair. Completing these steps allows you to partially exit the state of Ihram once more.
Section 5. Final rites and farewell. We are now entering the home stretch of our simulation, securing the final completion of your spiritual duties before you head back home.
During the days of Tashriq, that's the 11th, 12th, and sometimes the 13th of Zulhijjah, you'll stay at your camp in Mina. Every afternoon, you methodically walk to the Jamarat complex and stone all 3 pillars, the small, the middle, and the large one, with 7 pebbles each. It's this continuous physical reaffirmation of your commitment to reject negativity.
During these days, you also have to make the trip back to the Grand Mosque in Mecca. You still have 2 major obligations left: the Tawaf al-Ifada, which is another 7 laps around the Kaaba, and one final sa'i, walking between Safa and Marwa. Knocking these out fully cements your core Hajj obligations. At this point, your Hajj is practically complete. But wait, before you pack your bags and leave Makkah for good, you offer one last incredibly emotional goodbye. It's called the Tawaf al-Wada, or the Farewell Tawaf. As pilgrims circle the Kaaba for the very last time, it's super common to see tears of joy, relief, and just pure awe. This has to be the absolute last thing you do before leaving the holy city's boundaries.
And just like that, our simulation comes to an end. But before we wrap up, I really want you to ask yourself, after simulating the stripping away of your wealth and ihram, walking in the desperate footsteps of Hajar, and symbolically stoning your inner demons, how will you carry the purity of this incredible journey into your everyday life back home? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Until next time, keep learning and keep reflecting.